Hello and welcome to All You Ever Wanted to Know. I am Jordan Patswold, and every once in a while we get an opportunity to chat with some of the amazing Bible colleges and schools in our area. And today we are off to Saskatoon to join President of Horizon College and Seminary, Dr. Jeromey Martini. It's great to have you on the program. How are you doing today?
Great to be with you. I'm doing well. Thanks very much.
Yes. Well, let's just begin with the basics, as I alluded to. In the Bridge City, whereabouts specifically are we talking in Saskatoon?
So we are right next to Forest Grove Community Church off Attridge, up by the forestry farm, if you kind of know that area of the city, across from the big Catholic cathedral. As
for history of the school, tell us a little bit more about the school in that regard.
Yeah, the school started back in 1935. We had a different name, Bethel Bible Institute back then, and then relocated to Saskatoon a couple years later from out of Star City, Saskatchewan, and we've been in the city ever since. Been at 3 different locations. We were over off of 8th Street for a long time. And now we're up off Attridge Drive. We've just relocated to a brand new facility here, during COVID here, so about 18 months ago. So so we were affiliated with the Pentecostal Assemblies of Canada, and we're now affiliated still with them, but also with the Christian Missionary Alliance and the Mennonite Brethren and the Church of God denominations as well, officially, as well as with whoever. Different kind of evangelical denominations and groups and students.
Absolutely. Now, in terms of the kind of institution that Horizon College and Seminary is, we're talking once students are out of high school, looking to take that next step in their studies. Post-secondary ultimately is what Horizon College and Seminary is bringing in for students, correct?
Yeah, that's right. And so we do both the undergraduate and the seminary for the master's courses. So we do both of those. And then at the undergrad, we also partner with Saskatchewan Polytechnic and with the Edwards School of Business at the University of Saskatchewan. So you can blend programming from, virtually anything from Sask Poly, and you can take that into our courses here, and you can get a certificate or diploma from Sask Poly and a degree from Horizon. We also have that with the Edwards School of Business. They have a couple of certificates, one on entrepreneurship and one on administration, and you can blend those in and come out with programs, both a degree and a certificate. So it's a kind of a best of both approach that we do with that.
Oh, absolutely. Sounds really neat how that ultimately works out and can be incorporated depending on a student's need. It's not necessarily a case by any means of, everyone that comes to school in his year one is going to be doing this. And at this time, it's going to be this. Depending on an individual's need and, other studies might change what a day looks like from student to student, it sounds like.
Yeah, and different program options. And so people who are maybe a little more wired for, industrial arts might take that kind of track with the SAS Poly component, or those in the care, kind of the care, healthcare services and things like that. So you can kind of tailor those portions, and then our part at we focus on kind of the Christian worldview, leadership, and the biblical theological side of things, and that's kind of our part in that. So you can come out looking quite different in terms of what you've studied, but you still get that solid foundation that we do on our end.
Definitely. Again, joining us today on All You Ever Wanted to Know is President of Horizon College and Seminary in Saskatoon, Dr. Jeromey Martini, on our program for today. So can we dive into, specifically in terms of the actual program names and what they're referred to? Just how much variety are we talking about when it comes to those specifically Horizon College and Seminary courses?
Yeah, so there's, if you're on our website, you can go to what we call Horizon Plus, and that's the plus part is where you can combine with the SAS Poly, and really there's about 15 different program, everything from a BA Christian Studies in Health Services or Christian Studies in Biotechnology. You can do a Bachelor of Arts in Media Ministry or Entrepreneurial Ministry, things like that. So there's really kind of almost any type of combination that you can think of, mental health and addictions or things like that. So you can kind of browse through that on our website at the undergrad level, and then we also have our leadership focus as well, where you can just do a degree in ministry leadership or Christian studies. So there's those options, and it's really kind of a super high number of combinations you can do. And then we also do at the master's level, we have a ministry leadership MA, and we have a ministry counseling MA as well, pastoral counseling. And that the counseling one isn't just for pastors; it's for anybody who's interested in blending kind of a Christian focus with a counseling degree. And so we do that. And we also at the masters have a focus for women. So we have a women's cohort, which is where women may be taking different things. They may be taking a certificate. You can do a certificate of the seminary as well as a degree, as an MA. But we have a women's cohort that lets women who are leaders, and a lot of the women in our program, they're leading in just in the marketplace. They're in different places. They're not all in churches or anything like that, but they want to study together kind of as a group.
Sure.
And they bring those kind of shared experiences of being a woman and in leadership together. And so we have that as well. We've just launched a new women's cohort that's going to start up again this fall. So we've just seen one group come through over the last 2 years, and another group starting up here again in the fall. So different options at different levels, and everything is also online. So we were doing that even before COVID, but you can stream into all of our classes from anywhere. So a good number of our students have never set foot on our campus.
Oh, wow.
So they study remotely, and we've invested significantly in technology to make it a good experience. I know we've had a lot of horror stories. Students at university in the last couple of years over COVID is everybody's had to figure out how to adjust. And thankfully, we were already kind of there prior to COVID, and we actually invested more over the last couple of years to make it an even better experience for students to be able to study online and get a good education out of that, and be able to interact not just with their profs but also with their peers, both online and in the classroom. So we really try to blend so that no matter where you're coming in from, you're getting a solid community experience as part of your learning.
Now, can you tell us a bit about those instructors, who some of them are, where they come from? Ultimately, are they all based in Saskatoon, like someone coming on campus? Is there an example where, a student might be there at the campus in Saskatoon, but they're potentially still learning from an instructor who isn't necessarily on campus? What does that look like at Horizon?
Yeah, we've had some of that. So we've had some experiences where our instructors have come in from other places. So we have a core faculty that are resident in Saskatoon, but we have a significant core faculty as well that come in from other places. So we've had that experience where students, even some profs coming in from across the border there in the U.S. We have regular profs that will come in from BC, Manitoba, different places, Ontario. So we're able to leverage the technology to allow us to have those, to bring in quality people, and so we have a core faculty that's quality, that's on site, but also are able to leverage multiple faculty who are able to bring their expertise and passion into the classroom from virtually anywhere. So that's been a really positive experience, and that's a part that we've been growing as well, is being able to leverage those people coming in from different places. So really, really positive experience. Our students have reported really positive learning experience. We're grateful for that, even through COVID. In fact, we got really good feedback on our courses throughout COVID and before. But it's encouraging in that sense.
Definitely. Again, our guest today on All You Ever Wanted to Know is Jeromey Martini, president of Horizon College and Seminary in Saskatoon. If you want more information on some of the things that we've been talking about today, you can always visit their website, horizon.edu. Very straightforward, simple. Love that, Jeromey, to make it easy for people to find and track down. Again, campus based in Saskatoon. Now, ultimately, can you tell us a little bit about, ultimately life on campus in terms of days at the school? I know some Bible colleges that are out there, people do stay on site, in dorms and things of that nature. Sometimes chapel services taking place incorporated into the day. Can you just give us an idea of what just life on campus might be like for those that actually do come in person?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, we do have chapels. We have weekly chapels. We have small groups as well, life groups. So if you're on campus, and even if you're online, you can participate in these as well. But you have these chapels and life groups that we have weekly, and so that's twice a week then where those things take place, and you get to go a bit deeper in there with some peers and friends, and then student life activities and things like that we have. We have a room that has sort of the students kind of set up. They've got their Xbox and table tennis and those kinds of things like that for kind of those leisure times and just hanging out times. We do a community lunch every 6 weeks, and that should be another thing I should note. The way we run our terms is we run them in quarters rather than in full semesters.
Okay.
And we do 1 week. We'll do 1 week intensive followed by a 6-week quarter break, and then a week and 6 weeks. So really, you can start. You don't have to just think about starting in September. You can really start. There's multiple start points throughout the year, and so during those times we always have a community lunch. So we'll feed everybody, and it's just a time to hang out, and that's a lot of fun. And then evening activities, students put on worship nights and things like that. And we're right embedded in a very residential area, lots of housing and things like that right here. Right next to a massive condo complex and places for people to live, and so it's been really good.
That's excellent. In terms of, average class sizes, I know often that's a nice thing about, just Bible school as an option is getting people that introduction into that post-secondary life and, getting a little bit of an introduction into just that way of learning. For those curious about, what those ratios are like in terms of being able to talk to their professors after class, for further follow-up on certain worries about assignments or things of that nature. What does that usually look like for Horizon College and Seminary students?
Yeah, for sure. So our classes kind of would be anywhere from kind of that 10 to a big class might be 17 to 20 would be a bigger class, and then in addition to your profs, so you have access to your profs both in person and if you're studying online, you have access to your profs that way. And then we also have a really good academic support group. So we have dedicated academic coaching, and so that's something that comes along. And of course, people come in for academic and end up chatting about other things as well. But that's a major part of our support that we offer to students, and then a student life as well, where you've got dedicated personnel who are there to not necessarily just so much about counseling, but you're just there to meet with and chat with and kind of maybe unpack life and get a bit of life coaching out of that as well. So we're really invested in seeing our students succeed. That's on all areas of life, not simply in the academic arena, but just in their Christian life and life in general. So lots of opportunities, lots of staff-student interaction, and really a solidly committed staff and faculty who believe in not just simply education, but believe in seeing the Christian life and Christian leadership and God's church thrive and go forward. And so really committed to the vision and to the mission that we're here for.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
ultimately, students benefit from that.
And there certainly are, religious vocations and careers that people do pursue. But I think more and more, we're just realizing just the value and importance of, whether our profession, is Christian or not, we still are called to be, just Christians still in every aspect of our lives and how we go about our days and our lives, no matter what we use our talents and gifts for, they can still be ultimately used to further the kingdom. And I find Bible school and college just provide such an opportunity where that, whether your vocation or your career is specifically religious, we can still work through our religion and our faith, no matter what it is we do for our career in our lives and the people that we encounter on a day-to-day basis. Again, joining us today on All You Ever Wanted to Know from Horizon College and Seminary is Dr. Jeromey Martini. He is the president. And, before we wrap things up today, ultimately going to ask the question about things like cost. It does sound like it would vary depending on, the kind of program that people do go into. But in terms of that, and, maybe if there's opportunity in terms of scholarships that people could maybe apply for to make things a little bit easier for themselves, can you give us a breakdown of some of those things?
Yeah, for sure. And we keep our costs really, really competitive. We're grateful to have multiple churches and individuals who donate and subsidize the cost of education and subsidize it up to 60% of the actual cost of education. So, we keep our costs. So a course would be about $744 to take for credit at an undergrad level. To audit, we make all of our courses available for audit at $100 a course. So if you just wanted to sit the course and not not do the homework,
nice.
You can do those things. And so a 744. So keep it it's subsidized, and again, we're quite grateful for that. That's at the undergraduate level. At the seminary level too, there's a substantial subsidization for that. So we understand that a lot of people, particularly if you're in ministry, but even if you're in a career, and you want to go on and do a master's degree, it can be quite cost prohibitive. So we have that. We're grateful to have that heavily subsidized. So we keep that under $1,000 a course. So it's I think it's $950 for a course there, and which if you shop around is quite subsidized compared to a lot of accredited or pretty much any accredited seminary, and so that's again trying to make that highly accessible to as many people as possible. Our vision, like you shared, it's not simply to pump out pastors, although we do need people to respond to that call to ministry. A lot of empty churches right now that don't have leadership, and a lot of the leadership is looking to retire. So it's actually right now is a real career option for people thinking about going into ministry. But even those who aren't looking at professional ministry, we need to see our Christian worldview inform our leadership decisions at every level of society. And so we're just committed to seeing those people who come to us be prepared to be able to step out with the talents and the skills that they have, and us to develop that to help them to lead and make Canada a better place. Yeah. And our churches a better place.
Well, and having it go hand in hand too with potentially other studies that someone may be considering, just in terms of what they're going to be doing for their careers in life. Many a time it would be a case of you would have to basically decide between one or the other. Am I going to go to Bible college, or am I going to go about potentially studying and diving into specifically what a career option might be? Such a wonderful opportunity here existing with Horizon College and Seminary, whereas Dr. Martini mentioned at the start that here's a chance to combine the two, blend it in a certain way too. If there's studies to be had, at the campus for Sask Polytechnic, or again, what was the other school again that people might be able to find that balance?
Yeah, well, we have it with Edwards School of Business.
Edwards School of Business,
we have the template for it to really, to work from anywhere. So if you've got a certificate or diploma, even from another institution, you can bring that forward and port that in and we'll work with you to see you can earn a degree in a quite an abbreviated time frame.
Yeah. But lots of advantages, obviously, for folks to consider Horizon College and Seminary in Saskatoon. Again, for more information, horizon.edu to get all of that information. Again, joining us today on All You Ever Wanted to Know, President Dr. Jeromey Martini, again, from Horizon College and Seminary. Was there anything else you'd like to get out there that people maybe should be aware of when considering Horizon College and Seminary?
Yeah, I guess I just would want to encourage. We're in such a time of upheaval and change, and the world's changing all around us. And I really believe that it's in these times right now of this upheaval. This is when God is really tilling the soil for His church, and I believe that means that there's people out there that the Spirit is tapping on the shoulder in that still small voice that He uses. And just to have people really to be sensitive to that and think, maybe God is calling me to step out and go into a direction and to develop the skills and the Christian worldview and leadership abilities that are within me. And that's why we're here. We're here to serve you, and so just people to be sensitive to that. God is calling.
Definitely. And before I wrap up for today, if people want to come out, see the school in person, maybe have a tour or something along those lines, is that an option for people maybe considering Horizon College?
Oh, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, anytime. Come out and check it out. We're happy to accommodate you anytime, and we're happy to work out a time when you can sit in some classes and kind of try it out and see what it's like, see what a day in the life is and all that. So we're great to have anyone to come out.
Last thing I'll ask is there anything that people could be praying for the school in that regard?
Yeah, absolutely. Pray for us as we seek to follow through on this mission that God has given us. Obviously, that comes with challenges, as does any ministry. So, prayer for our people, and pray for students, our current students. Pray for those who God might be tapping the shoulders on, and pray that they would be responsive to that call, and just pray that God would be providing for us to be able to do what we need to do to serve Him and His kingdom.
Again, our guest today on All You Ever Wanted to Know has been Dr. Jeromey Martini of Horizon College and Seminary in Saskatoon. Visit horizon.edu for more information. That's our program for today on All You Ever Wanted to Know. Until next time, have yourself a wonderful day and be blessed.